and I'll be right back.
Jumping right in.
All right. Get all the audio synced up. All right. So what are the common mental health problems facing youth athletes?
Facing youth athletes would be anxiety. We're seeing a lot of performance anxiety in athletes, and that manifests itself behaviorally, cognitively, in terms of physically, or like rapid heart rate, trembling even. Cognitively, there's a fear of failure developing. They're worried about their performance. They're worried about the responses they're going to get. So a lot of worry.
How has access to mental health aids or guides helped youth sports from your perspective?
It's a very interesting question. I think when it comes to support for youth with their mental health in sports, it's who's supporting them and how. So a lot of times we have organizations that, you know, they want to bring in that mental health piece, but what does that look like? Is it mental performance? And that's a lot different from kind of mental health and wellness. It can look very different. We can talk about, you know, visualization, imagery, all of that stuff. But a lot of times when I work with youth in sport, it's very different. So they're not coming to me to figure out how to visualize better or do imagery better. They're talking about the stuff that's lagging, the stuff that they're struggling with, and oftentimes we talk about things that aren't sport related, because everything that's happening in their life ends up impacting how they perform. And so I think it's really great to have access, and if we can start the conversation with performance, so be it, that's great, but we can't lose sight that maybe there's some other stuff going on, and are the people that are involved, are they qualified to deal with that stuff?
Yeah. Have you seen a rise in mental health problems or, I guess, patients within youth sports?
Yeah, definitely a rise. And we're seeing depression, anxiety, as I mentioned, but we're even looking at body image and all of that stuff. Injury can cause a lot of mental health issues for young people. So it is on the rise, and the more people that are talking about it and normalizing it, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, because I got another follow-up for that. With the rise in professionals speaking out on their dealings with mental health, and with more resources available, would that affect those numbers?
I would hope so. I think the more that we have people talking about it, the more normal it gets. I use the word normalize a lot, but when it becomes commonplace, it's something that everybody talks about. They stop being afraid of talking about it. And it's something that it's okay to say I need help. That's tremendous for our athletes. So I think it could be really good. And I don't know that the numbers will rise, or that the numbers, we just can't get them because people aren't accessing it.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a lot of fear in that. There's a lot of struggle to come out and say, I'm not doing okay, when that's not something we do. Sport, we push through. Sport, we kind of leave it off the ice or whatever it might be, but it's not reality anymore.
Oh, okay. What are some of the most significant barriers kids or parents face when playing youth sports?
We can't ignore cost. So cost can be a challenge for a lot of people. And I think time, like the timing of practice, the timing of games, they can get later and later, or they can be earlier. There's so many people that I meet, and there's a tournament starting on Friday afternoon in another city. So then parents have to have access, they have to be able to get work off and do that. And looking at club sport versus school sport. When I was growing up, it was all school sport. So it's after school. Nobody's having to get you there. But then when we look at these clubs, which I think are amazing, but it's all evening, all different times. So that can be really tricky too. And I think if you look at how competitive it's gotten, so there's a lot of elite sport happening that kind of leaves people out. And the competition there kind of leaves the people that just want to play and have fun. And I'm all about competition, wins and losses, I'm down. But that creates some challenges for people who just want to play.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. And like, I've been watched a whole bunch of the Olympics, and I saw the Norwegians absolutely dominate. Yeah. And I was interested to find that they actually remove elite training systems until kids are 13 years old. They remove all stat keeping until 13 years old. They also get 60% of their funding from the Norwegian state-sponsored lotteries and gaming. Would Canada be better off implementing some of those kind of ideologies to their youth sports system?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. So we look at how successful they've been, and a smaller population, but coming away with more success, however you want to define it, if we define it by medals. Letting kids have fun in sport that's why they're here. That's why we do sport. So kind of removing that till they're at an age where it really needs to come in and it's going to help build that stuff that they're prepared to handle. I don't think it would hurt for us to go back to the fun, let them enjoy it. We'll do elite sport when we're getting to the age where they can understand it and they can process it.
Mm-hmm. How does the implementation of non-contact or no body checking leagues better solve these problems that kids are facing?
It's a tricky one because people feel very strongly about this. But when you look at skill development should be priority, aside from making this a place that they want to be. But we play sport, we develop skills. So when you introduce contact and stuff into it too early, are the skills there? So why not focus in that space, let them keep going in that area, and then we'll introduce the game as it's elevated. When we introduce these things so early, it's not only that their bodies aren't prepared for it, so we look at injury, we look at concussions, it's getting too competitive out there. Our intention is to keep kids in sport. So let's allow them to do that. When their bodies are fit and ready to go for it, when their brains are ready for it, then that's the time to introduce it.
Absolutely. And the other thing, Norway also, like I kind of mentioned, they remove the elite streams from their sports. But in Canada and Hockey Calgary specifically, there's tiered hockey from U9 onwards. Would removing tiers so all kids play with one another until they're at least maybe in U11 or U13 be better for the total youth sport development?
I think so. It's funny when you ask that question, I expect you to say U16 and when you say U11, U13, like these are children, like they're young. Their intention is to go and have fun. And it's not them that are thinking that it needs to be more competitive, that we need to start being like excelling in one sport. It's kind of society around is how we're kind of pushing them. If that didn't exist, these kids are going to go and they're going to have fun and they're going to continue to play sport.
Mm-hmm. Hockey participation rates in youth are dropping. What remedial steps do you think that could be taken to ensure these numbers decline less?
Yeah, so cost, I think time, like making times more feasible, more manageable. I don't know where we decided that for children to be having games at 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. I know ice times are tricky, but I think we might be able to find some ways to do that better. And the competitiveness. So we go back to Norway talking about fun, like sport is about fun for them till a certain age, and then it continues to be fun, but they've already kind of ingrained in them that this is what it's about. It's not about the competition, the wins, and the losses yet. So how can we make it more enjoyable, remove that competition, and then we don't have to keep climbing to what our neighbors are doing? And there's so many kids that may not want to play hockey, for instance, year-round, but then they feel like they're being left behind. So encouraging people to be multi-sport, to check out different things and come back with the knowledge that they weren't left behind.
Mm-hmm. And then my last question for you is, why have coaches, in your opinion, taken so long to start respecting players' mental health from professional leagues to grassroots levels?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say respecting, or if they're just not aware, or they just haven't considered that aspect yet. That's not how we grew up. That's not what it was. There's the kind of, push through, be tough, mental toughness, the way it was viewed before, I think, and I hope that it's being viewed a little bit differently. So I think that kind of gets in the way. There's a lack of awareness of the things that benefit performance. So we're not seeing coaches have the information that, 5 ice times isn't necessary if you remove one and do something else, whether it's team building, whether it's mental health awareness and increasing that for people. That does tremendous things for athletes. It doesn't hurt performance at all. There's more. There's always more. But yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, that's all I had for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good.